Hi, I want to tell you about myself and ask you to sign the pledge. I'm a lesbian, and I had a child through artificial insemination with my partner. And legally, she cannot be his mother in most states. Luckily, we were able to have her adopt him in California, and she is legally his parent. Um, the reason this matters to me is that there's so many aspects to marriage that people don't think about. Um, the fact that had we not been in a committed relationship and not been in a situation where our county was legally supportive, we she would never have any rights to my child. And I think that is a horrible thing, to raise a child for their entire life and not be able to really be their parents. Um, Other things that matter to me with marriage is when we did have a marriage, we had a spiritual marriage with our synagogue, and it was the most important situation to be able to claim my love for somebody else publicly, and to have those people who were part of our relationship acknowledge our love for each other publicly. And for months and years afterward, we really felt very different in our relationship. We really felt like a truly married, loving couple. Unfortunately, we also had to divorce after 13 years of marriage. And we have this child together. Well, there are so many things with the law that don't allow us rights as a married couple. We've had to go and seek lawyers as to how we separate. What are the legal ramifications for us? My ex-partner is not legally my child's, not biologically my child's parent. Luckily, she's legally my child's parent. But how do we deal with who's going to be the primary person for this child? Who's going to get the child support for this child? When we bought a house together, we had to buy a house. I had to buy the house under my name because we couldn't have a house as partners. If I had died, my partner would have to buy my house at market rate because she legally was not considered my partner, and she would not be able to obtain the house as my partner, even though she lived in the house with me for all of those years and raised our child in that house for all those years. So we had to look at giving the house to our son and having her be the person that managed his finances. Well, how fair is that? She legally is the one that's helped run the house. She's been the one that has raised the child in that house, but she has no legal rights in that home. I've also known gay couples who literally had to be moved out of their home because they had the same thing happen. And when their house was resold at market rate, they couldn't afford it. So the house that they'd raised, that they'd lived in with their partner for their entire relationship, they had to sell and move into supported living because they couldn't pay for the same home that they'd lived in all their life. And that's only because they weren't considered a married couple. So I want to ask you to please consider these things and sign the pledge and join us in helping us to have legal marriage for everyone.